Hello everyone, and welcome back to this episode of Better Version, the channel that shares knowledge on personal development through books. Today I would like to share with you a famous book about how to invest, allocate, and optimize your time effectively in order to improve the quality of your life and increase your level of happiness. The book is Happier Hour by Cassie Holmes. There is a pressing question we must ask. Does having more freedom over our time really make us happier? Is this completely true? In modern society, many people feel like they never have enough time. Not enough to finish their deadlines, not enough for themselves, not enough to do what they love, exercise, read, or rest as planned. And so each day passes filled with frustration, fatigue, and self-blame. We always wish for more time, hoping to work hard and earn money so that one day we can finally relax. The author of this book, an American social psychologist named Cassie Holmes, calls this state of feeling time poverty. However, the reality is that human perception of time is always subjective. 5 minutes may feel like an eternity when someone is waiting, but fly by like a blink of an eye when saying goodbye at the airport. Therefore, time poverty is not objectively about lacking time, but rather a subjective state where a person feels they don't have enough time for what they truly want to do, even if they actually have free time. The root cause comes from the feeling of losing control when your time is consumed by mandatory work or unwanted obligations. For example, office workers might spend 3 to 4 hours a day in meetings, around 20 hours per week, even though 40% of the content has nothing to do with their actual responsibilities. Or caregivers who spend nearly 8 hours a day feeding, cleaning, and transporting others without being able to pursue personal interests. Modern women may work full-time jobs, but still come home to cook, wash dishes, and help children with homework, leaving no time for themselves. Another reason people feel short on time is the declining quality of their free time. Even when they have free time, their minds are distracted, worrying about work or indulging in entertainment that eats up their spare moments. And finally, the deepest cause is the lack of connection between how time is spent and personal values. For example, some people spend up to 60% of their time doing work they hate. If you find yourself in any of these situations, it means you are living in a state of time poverty. Someone stuck in this condition for too long will fall into a cycle of energy depletion, declining health, weight gain, high blood pressure, diabetes, poor sleep, and weak immunity. It also leads to low self-esteem and feelings of helplessness, because the sense of lacking time causes the brain to exaggerate risks, create illusions of failure, and lead to procrastination and avoidance of challenges. Moreover, relationships become strained due to the lack of investment in meaningful time. A person who doesn't have time for themselves cannot possibly give time to others. They become indifferent toward both acquaintances and strangers. And worst of all, a feeling of meaninglessness constantly lingers, as one realizes they are merely existing instead of truly living. So, how can we escape this state of time poverty? Does gaining more free time really make us happier? As a university professor, the author herself was very busy with her job, but after work, like many other women, she had to cook, clean, and take care of her family. She no longer had time to do what she truly wanted. This situation caused her to doubt her life, and she even considered quitting her teaching job to live a peaceful and quiet life on an island. But, as a researcher, she decided to use data to verify her choice, to re-examine whether having more free time actually leads to greater happiness. She and her colleagues conducted wide-scale surveys and built a database recording the daily activities and life satisfaction levels of tens of thousands of Americans. The results showed that a person who lacks free time, around less than 2 hours per day, experiences a sharp decline in life satisfaction. But if someone has too much free time, more than 5 hours a day, this doesn't necessarily guarantee happiness either. Humans tend to feel bored, lose direction, and waste time on meaningless activities, such as scrolling on social media, watching random videos, or playing games, making their free time feel pointless. Therefore, the key isn't about trying to get more time and leisure to be truly happy, but about learning how to reshape and reallocate our daily time. There's a saying, how your day goes is how your life goes. If you're experiencing a sense of time poverty, it may be time to seriously reflect, organize, and choose your actions more effectively for your own well-being. This book will help you answer the question, what is truly worth investing your precious time in? From there, you'll minimize wasted and boring moments and maximize quality time, those golden hours that bring genuine happiness. Part 2. Shaping time. What is truly worth investing in? To accurately determine this, the author advises us to practice tracking our time, not just recording what we've done, but also evaluating our emotions while doing them. Dr. Holmes proposed a specific method as follows. First, create a schedule dividing your entire day, except for sleeping time, into half-hour blocks. Record what you did during each block. Note that the entries should be as specific as possible, ideally categorized under activity groups. For example, instead of simply writing work, break it down into sub-activities like writing reports, handling emails, attending meetings, etc. Also, the tracking period shouldn't be too short, at least 1 to 2 weeks, so that you have enough data to comprehensively understand your own issues. Step 2. Involves recording your emotions during each activity and rating them on a scale of 10, where 1 represents extreme unhappiness and 10 represents extreme joy. But how do we define happiness correctly to evaluate objectively? A positive psychologist named Martin Seligman identified 5 factors that contribute to a person's happiness: positive emotion, engagement, complete focus, relationships, meaning, and accomplishment. An activity that brings real joy should relate to these 5 elements. Ask yourself, how positive did you feel while participating in the activity? Could you fully concentrate and feel energized afterward? Did the activity help you connect more deeply with others or the world around you? And finally, did it bring any value or meaning? Did it strengthen your confidence or benefit others? Activities scoring high in these 5 areas are usually ones that belong in your ideal zone and deserve priority. Conversely, activities that often make you feel anxious, depressed, empty, guilty, or disappointed should be seriously reconsidered. We can also refer to the author's research findings combined with conclusions from Nobel Prize-winning economist Daniel Kahneman, author of Thinking, Fast and Slow, which I covered in a previous video. Overall, a person's time can be divided into 3 groups. The first group is happy time, time spent on things that are both joyful and meaningful, such as social activities, helping others, sincere communication, hugs, intimate gestures, meditation, reflection, physical exercise, etc. The second group is boring time, activities that are meaningful but not particularly enjoyable, such as going to work, raising children, cooking, or activities that are fun but not meaningful, like eating out or watching TV. The third group is wasted time, time spent on things that are neither enjoyable nor meaningful, such as commuting, running errands, or wasting time online. Of course, these are just general examples because the level of meaning and joy varies for each individual. It depends on personal perception and life goals. For instance, some people think cooking is boring, while others genuinely enjoy it. Therefore, the key is to be honest with yourself and choose what deserves your time most accurately. Part 3. Time optimization strategies. Next, we move on to the important section, time optimization strategies. To truly master your day, living it fully while maintaining productivity and happiness, the author offers several strategies. 1. Blocking in time. Blocking in time means treating the time you've committed to as sacred, as if protecting your own life. This is a foundational strategy for effective time management. Instead of letting days slip away in regret over unfinished tasks or exhaustion from overlapping work, we must commit to locking in our time. Locking in time means beyond fixed routines like eating, picking up kids, or bathing. We must reserve golden blocks of time for core values, time that cannot be replaced or interrupted. When you lock in your schedule, you're building a fortress for your happiness. If you know mornings are your most alert and creative hours, protect that time for important high-value tasks like writing, brainstorming, deep learning, or solving complex problems. Afternoons, when energy may dip, are better suited for handling emails, attending meetings, or dealing with administrative tasks. If your current job isn't your passion, treat dawn as your personal treasure. Sleep early. Wake up earlier, even just 45 to 60 minutes before starting work. Invest that valuable time in nurturing your abilities, learning new skills, reading, studying languages, meditating, light exercise in green spaces, or simply enjoying a slow breakfast in silence. All these habits will transform the quality of your entire day and build invisible momentum for your future. These golden moments need to be scheduled as seriously as important appointments, ones you cannot miss. The protection and respect you give to these moments is exactly the love and respect you give to your life. 2. Savor every moment. Once you've locked in time for the things you love, the next step is to focus entirely on the present. One of the biggest barriers preventing us from living fully in the moment is smartphones. Have you ever decided to study hard, sleep early, or simply spend time reading and planning for tomorrow, only to pick up your phone for just a minute, and hours pass by? The truth is, we don't lack time. We just often lose it unconsciously. The strategy of savoring time requires decisive choices. Either live fully in what you're doing, or let time slip away. The best way is to put your phone out of reach. Designate tech-free periods in your day. For example, 30 minutes after waking up and 1 hour before sleeping. You can also practice the 5-second rule. When your hand instinctively reaches for your phone, pause, take a deep breath, and ask yourself, does this action help me enjoy the present moment, or is it stealing my time? Just 5 seconds of awareness can help you regain control. Another method is to keep a distraction journal. Each time you feel tempted to switch tasks, pause and quickly write down, I got distracted at 10:15 a.m. for this reason. At the end of the day or week, review this journal to identify the main causes of your time leaks, then find ways to eliminate or reduce them. 3. Reduce wasted and boring time. To free yourself from tasks that feel time-consuming yet unavoidable, like housework or commuting, the author suggests delegation and bundling strategies. For housework, if finances allow, consider hiring help. Don't dismiss this idea immediately. Researchers conducted surveys across the US, Denmark, and Canada, asking whether people were willing to pay for help with chores or grocery shopping. 2/3 said they had never hired anyone. The issue wasn't financial. Participants had the means. Studies show that spending money on time-saving services significantly boosts overall happiness. You don't need to hire someone for everything. Just a few key tasks, like weekly cleaning or buying a robot vacuum. These investments are actually investments in your time and happiness. That saved time can be used for meaningful and joyful activities, improving your quality of life. If hiring help isn't possible, try bundling, combining disliked tasks with enjoyable ones. Research shows that pairing unpleasant tasks with something you enjoy makes them easier to tolerate. For example, you can mop the floor while listening to music or a favorite podcast. However, personally, I believe that if both tasks require concentration, such as mopping and listening to a detailed podcast, it's better not to bundle them long-term. As emphasized in many previous videos, multitasking reduces focus and mindfulness. Psychological studies show that the brain cannot efficiently handle multiple cognitive tasks simultaneously. Multitasking lowers the quality of both activities. You'll miss details in the podcast because you're focused on mopping, and you won't feel the satisfaction of a clean floor because your mind is analyzing information. As a content creator, I'm glad people use their time to listen to my podcasts, but I still encourage you to practice mindfulness in every moment to optimize your time. To manage household tasks, I personally choose minimalism. Decluttering unnecessary items, organizing belongings by function and frequency of use. This makes my space tidier and cleaning easier, giving me more time for what truly matters. I find the book's bundling strategy especially effective when using public transport. Commute time can become valuable for reading, practicing listening skills, handling emails, or sending messages to family and friends. However, in Vietnam, most people ride motorcycles, making this difficult unless you live close to work. If your commute is exhausting, consider advice from happiness billionaire Naval Ravikant. Relocate closer to your workplace, or find a job you love. Choosing the right place to live can fundamentally change your quality of life and happiness level. Especially for young people who haven't bought a house yet, carefully consider 3 factors before deciding: living environment, career opportunities, and commute time. If you can't change your location immediately, as previously suggested, practice mindfulness during your journey. Avoid falling into autopilot mode, repeating the same habits day after day. This is one of the silent factors that gradually drain your happiness. Many people become so familiar with their route that their minds drift endlessly, another factor quietly lowering happiness levels. Stay conscious in every moment. It's a way to create quality time even in mundane moments. 4. Reframing perspective. This is the 4th strategy, reframing perspective. A strong mindset can turn hardship into joy. Many view the office as a battlefield, carrying negative emotions from work back home. If you haven't found your ideal job that satisfies the 5 elements of happiness, try changing your perspective instead. There's a case in an oncology center. A janitor named Candice. Her job was to clean a particular floor where patients often vomited due to chemotherapy side effects. Most employees could only endure this job for over a year, but Candice stayed for over 10 years with a positive attitude. She told researchers that the job wasn't as bad as people thought. To her, the hospital was a home filled with hope. She gave herself a purpose, not only to keep the environment clean, but also to make patients more comfortable. Besides cleaning, she warmly helped patients, offering tissues, water, telling jokes, comforting them and their families, and assisting doctors and nurses whenever possible. As a result, Candice felt happy in her job, and her overall life satisfaction increased. Every job has its difficulties and challenges, and always carries some unpleasantness. But if you can see deeper meaning and value from a different perspective, like Candice reframing her work, you can perform efficiently while gaining internal value and joy. 5. Leaving room for space. Finally, the 5th strategy is to leave room for space. Like artists leaving white space in paintings, your weekly schedule shouldn't be overly packed. You can set aside 1 hour or half an hour for complete silence, or just sit still and stop all activities to deeply reflect on your life and decisions. This opens up creativity and clarity. You can also keep some open time for small pleasures, like a quick game, listening to music, or doing whatever you feel like in the moment. As long as you don't indulge excessively or spend hours on it, these small breaks can increase anticipation and boost your happiness level. This creates a buffer zone that helps balance a hectic lifestyle. Now that we've learned how to shape time usage, explored adjustment strategies, and allocation methods, it's time for the conclusion, to take a bird's eye view of time. Conclusion: seeing time through a bird's eyes. Seneca once said, "Life is long enough if we know how to use it properly." Like birds flying high above, looking down at the entire landscape below, we should face our days with a broader, holistic perspective. Research shows that people who view life in terms of years and decades, instead of hours and minutes, tend to be happier. This perspective prevents you from being trapped by the past or expectations, seeing yourself as part of a larger life picture. It opens you up to acceptance. You don't have to be perfect from the start or force yourself to handle everything at once. Whether you chose the wrong field, took a detour from your passion, none of that means you're lost. Life is long and full of endless opportunities to catch up or start anew. And when you hear about so many useful things to do, you don't have to rush to do them all at once. Tracking your activities and evaluating your emotions helps you prioritize what's important and meaningful first. It reminds you that life is like a book. Each chapter has its own story. Be decisive, avoid distractions and procrastination, and focus fully during specific periods of time. Allocating your time wisely will shift your thinking from, "Should I do this?" to, "When should I start?" And then begin right now. This book once again reminds us that our happiness in life depends entirely on how we use our time, managing work, choosing priorities. The time you use today is the frequency you emit, and the universe will respond with matching resonance throughout the rest of your life. That concludes today's book sharing video. I hope you take meaningful action in every important moment, writing chapters of life that you will never regret. Thank you for listening. If you found this video helpful, please share it with others who might benefit. Don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe, and turn on notifications to stay updated with new videos every week. Once again, thank you, and I'll see you in the next one.